Good evening. So, I want to get into a community discussion to kind of talk about two different narratives that are going on that I've noticed with everything that's going on. So, there's two different ones that I'm going to get into today. One of them is more on the spiritual awakening, earthly cleanse side, and the other one will be more on the like conspiracy side as far as the powers that be and what's going on as far as that. So, as far as the spiritual awakening side, there's a lot of people that have been kind of based living in their ego that are going to kind of get a wake-up call, as far as realizing that everything isn't necessarily based in your materialism and things like that. It's not necessarily to say that people that have a lot of materials and resources aren't, already on that level, because people understand that in the physical world you need materials and resources, but they don't necessarily get caught up in it like some people do when they really get their ego caught up in it. So there's going to be a kind of a check, an ego check for a lot of people as far as that. Also, it's like an awakening in the system where we can kind of see now that we don't necessarily have to risk our lives going to drive to work every day to get something done. We don't necessarily have to risk our children's lives, especially with the school shootings and everything that have been going on in the recent decade. We don't necessarily have to risk our children's lives for them to go to school. So, it's just like everything that you thought was like, okay, this is in place for a reason, this is this way for a reason. It's just kind of, it had an automatic, overnight shift. Oh, so it doesn't have to actually be this way. So we actually can, have our system still run, depending on the industry, because there are certain job industries that can't really work on the home-based system. But I don't know, there's cracks that need to be filled in as far as that. But even still, I think overall it's just like a societal awakening as far as that. So, also on that narrative, as far as the spiritual awakening and the earthly cleanse, with people not being out, it's just like, okay, so was this something that was sent to, kind of stop us in our tracks and just show us that, okay, all of this shit really is not what is most important, and then the earth getting to heal itself, and all of that. I've seen that narrative. Then the other alternative narrative that I've seen is as far as the New World Order and, ushering in the martial law and all that kind of stuff. So, and mind you, I was a huge conspiracy theorist, back in 2009, 2010, 2008, all of that. I was still in high school talking about zeitgeist and all of that type of shit, trying to wake people up. So that was a big, part of my mission for a long time. So yeah. I've been reading about this shit for years, to the point where, I, had a plan in place, all that type of shit. But then I was just like, oh, no, they're not really about to do that shit, because, nothing happened. So I was just like, yeah, whatever, that's some bullshit. But, yeah, the fact that, this shit is, really going down now, and, this has never happened in anybody's lifetime that I know, that anybody that I know knows. This shit has never fucking happened before. So it's really wild. And the thing is, a lot of people have fallen victim to the system as far as being distracted by entertainment and social media and materialism, that type of thing. And a lot of people have just fallen victim to being sheepish, as far as eating the terrible foods, not necessarily being the healthiest that they can be. So when times like this come, even to the point where people are addicted to drugs, things like that, whatever that might be, if you have a dependency on whatever it might be, if it's entertainment, if it's drugs, if it's food, whatever it might be, like, we're spoiled is really what it comes down to. So that's going to be what is really going to make people crack. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're just too spoiled and they just can't handle the shit, then it's just going to, like, shit can really go left. But it doesn't really have to be that way. But I just, that's just how it is with a lot of people. So yeah, so basically I feel like it's like a balance between the two, where it's like there's obviously the good side where people are going to awaken and then be more in tune with their families, more in tune with themselves. Then there's going to be the other side where, people's egos are hurt, and it's just, because obviously there's going to be some like really serious financial shit going on. And I mean, war-wise, who knows what's going on, But all I know is I saw the National Guard here 2 weeks ago, well before this shit came out, because they're not going to come out and tell the public shit, like, until they have a story to spin. Like, not necessarily saying, like, they're lying and they're just, like, not something out there. But it could be biological warfare. It could be all types of shit, and they're just not giving everybody all the details. So, yeah. But basically, I feel like this is really a time for people to reflect and to learn and to really, like I made the joke earlier about me having to spend time with my family and all that. But, like, I'm grateful to be able to do that. And we're grateful, we should be grateful, rather, to be in a country that is going to take care of us in a time like this. Like, there's people coming together to make sure people are fed, make sure people are good, like in certain industries that aren't making money right now. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts. Yeah, and I heard about the 5G thing too, and that was a big thing in the conspiracy world, even back then when they were talking about the HARP technology and harnessing the energy and messing with the weather, different things like that. So, I got to get back on my research because it has been a minute. But, hey, fam, bam. But, yeah, that's just the point that I wanted to make. So, yeah, we'll see where it goes. And, y'all just keep vibing high. Take this time to do some yoga, make a schedule for your family. Like, I'm a Virgo, so I'm big on that type of shit. So we have yoga every morning at 8 for the early risers, 11 for the late risers. And we do workouts 4 days a week. Like, I'm already on it. Like, shit, I'm ready for this shit. It's going down. I'm about to read. It's going down. So, if they gonna lock us down, and my dumb ass wasn't able to get the fuck out of here, then that's just what we're gonna have to do. So, yeah. Peace, y'all.